everybody. I want to do that. There we go. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy Friday. I am coming to you live from Go Home Lake. I'm up at the cottage for the weekend. So hopefully the connection holds for us. I hope everyone's doing well. I sure miss being in the studio, missing everybody's faces, but it's lovely to be here with you. So I don't know how much you'll actually be able to see, but with this, hi Teresa, with this particular practice, I will probably sit through most of it and just speak. I will demonstrate some poses to start with. This is a 60-minute restorative yin. So the practice that I've designed for tonight does not necessarily require any props. If you have a bolster or a block or two, that's great. If you don't, but you have a pillow off of your bed, fantastic. If you have a pillow from your couch cushion, that will also work well. So for those that don't know me, my name is Kat, and like I said, I teach occasionally at Modo Yoga Aurora. I teach weekly at Modo Yoga Newmarket, and I also teach up at Modo Yoga Barrie. So I'm happy to be here. We're going to begin. I'm just going to turn the comments off. And there we go. I should probably have my glasses on. So yeah, if you have an eye pillow handy even, or an extra pair of socks for the end of practice just to lay over your eyes, feel free to grab that. Kitchen towel, whatever. And we're just going to begin in Shavasana. So maybe if I bring this down here, you guys will be able to see that a little bit better. Okay. So I'm just going to begin in Shavasana. So just laying onto your back. Just if you have a mat, great. If you're on the floor or the carpet, great. If you have a towel, great. Whatever works for you. Just allow your body to connect here. So shoulder blades down and back of your arms connecting to the ground, palm space open. Then as you have a couple of breaths here, allow your legs to splay open. Usually we say allow your legs to find sort of the width of your mat. If you'd like them to be a little wider, feel free. If it's better with your legs a little closer, do that space. And just letting your toes flop open, feeling your feet, your ankles, your calves relax. And noticing that space behind your knees. And the big muscles in your thighs soften. Allow your hips, your bottom, and your belly to relax. Breathe now into your belly and all the way up into your heart center, to your chest, through the back to the shoulders. And as you exhale, feel that breath move from the shoulders down through the length of your arms to your fingertips. And finally, just letting your head settle, your cheeks be soft, your forehead relax. And eyes open or closed here, just allowing your breath to connect. So feel your belly expand, your heart expand, your head fill, the tips of your fingers and toes. And start to feel your body soften a little more with each exhale. With each inhale, fill every space in your body. Perhaps notice in this connection to your breath how your thoughts begin to fade. Your day, your week softens. coming into the present space, present moment, each breath as it passes. Take your right hand, place it onto your belly. Take your left hand, place it onto your heart. Let the backs of your upper arms relax into the floor. Breathe into your hands consciously, feeling that breath to heart to full body connection. Now inhale to fill the belly. And then the heart, the throat, the head. And exhale to soften. Allow the heart to relax down, the belly to soften. And 2 more like that. Bring your arms back alongside your body. Let your palms face the ceiling. 2 more full rounds of breath here. Start to bring some movement into your toes and fingers. You can roll your wrists and ankles, one direction and then the other, always finding balance in your body. And we'll slide your feet a little closer together. Let's reach your arms up overhead, have a full body stretch. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale to soften. Our first pose today or tonight is going to be legs up the wall or legs in the air, which typically we may be used to doing more at the end of your practice. But we're going to start here tonight. So just bending your knees and reaching your feet into the air. You can have a little bit of a bend to the knees, that's fine. Feet can kind of just sort of dangle, maybe legs are about hip width. Arms can stay beside you if you like, or place your hands onto your belly. Otherwise, the arms can reach up, so the fingertips towards the ceiling. Then notice if the fingertips are reaching up, do the shoulders also lift off the ground? See if you can let the shoulders settle down and back. So there becomes this really like this little bend into your elbows perhaps. Your tailbone is connected. And just reconnect to that same breath that you found in Shavasana. So with the feet eventually feeling as though they're just sort of suspended by strings from the ceiling. Same with the wrists, your fingertips. Maybe tuck the chin in just a little, lengthening through the back of your neck. And again, with each exhale, let your body soften. In your yin practice, we're really looking for a disengagement in a lot of ways. So there's not a lot of muscular effort. It's more of a surrender space. And as we hold into spaces, finding a little more length, a little more opening into your body. Depending on the pose, getting into your fascia, tendons, really good for your joints. It's also a really great space to work on that mind connection. In stillness, it is difficult or challenging at times as humans to slow the thought processes down, just quiet the brain, the mind. If you notice the thoughts wandering, it's as simple as coming back to your breath. If you'd like, you can bring the arms back down beside you or place them onto your body, legs still in the air. If you'd rather leave the arms suspended, please feel free to do so. With the palms can face open to the ceiling. This is more of a space of being open to receive. If you prefer to feel a little more grounded, if you've had a busy week or a busy day and you just want to feel settled and grounded, rooted, turn your palms down towards the floor. Just a few more breaths in this space. Stay connected, stay present. Gently bend your knees. Place the soles of your feet onto your mat or to the ground beneath you. Then extend your legs long. Legs are parallel now. We'll reach your arms up overhead. We're not looking to stretch necessarily. Just roll the shoulders down and back so the backs of your shoulder blades connect. We're moving into Banasana. So if you think about the banana as a fruit, that shape, that's the shape we want to create in your body. So we'll start to walk your feet over to the left side of your mat. Your arms move over to the left side as well. Notice we don't want to roll onto the left side of your body. We want both shoulder blades to stay rooted here and the backs of your hips or your bum cheekers to stay connected. So just the arms and the legs are moving. The feet can stay side by side if you like, or for a little deeper stretch, cross your right ankle over your left and stack your right hand on top of your left. If you're really open and flexible through that right side, maybe the left hand holds on to the right wrist. Again, if the chin is pointing towards the ceiling, see if you can draw the chin a little closer to your chest, finding that length into your neck. Eyes can be opened or closed. In my yin practice, I usually have my eyes closed quite a lot. I like to block out distraction and just find the breath. And as you settle into the pose, into the space, notice your breath. So does the breath kind of return to this sort of space of softness? Allow the breath to be soft, yet still expansive. So find that inhale. Let it travel through the right side of your body. Feel that length from the outside of your right ankle to the leg, to the hip, up through the right rib cage, to the armpit, length of your arms into the right fingertips. On your exhale, still connect to the softening. Let your jaw relax. Let the muscles around your eyes relax. A couple more breaths right here. If you had your ankles crossed and your hands stacked, unstack them first. Have a breath. Gently move your legs and arms back to center, remembering that you've held into this space for quite some time, so allow your body to move slowly as you transition. When you return to center, have a full inhale and exhale. And we'll begin to open up through the other side, so moving your legs over to the right side of your mat, your arms over to the right corner, just coming enough to feel that stretch through the left side body, and allowing the shoulders to stay grounded, the hips, the bottom to stay connected. If you'd like to cross your left ankle over your right or stack your left hand on top of your right, perhaps holding the right or the left wrist rather with your right fingertips, feel free. Then breathe into the left side of your body. Can you focus on your breath so much that you feel it expanding through the rib cage, and then in either direction, top to bottom, all the way to the tips of your toes and the tips of your fingers. Stay with and connected to that breath. Let everything soften. So let the muscles in your bottom relax, your belly relax, your jaw, your forehead. Notice if your thoughts begin to wander, come back to feeling your body with no judgment. So not worrying about if you are able to stretch a long way on this side or if you're still in the same space. Connect how your body feels and feel your breath supporting you in this stillness. What may even feel like nothing for some of you, there's so much going on beneath the surface. If you stacked your hands and crossed your ankles, just bring your arms and legs back, your feet and hands back beside one another, and then pause. Have a breath here. And slowly begin to walk your arms and legs back to center. And now bend your knees and draw your legs, your thighs rather, into your body. Give yourself a little squeeze. Chin tucks in. Place the soles of your feet onto the floor, to your mat. Come onto the right side and make your way into tabletop, hands and knees. So wrists are underneath shoulders here, knees are underneath or just behind your hips. Knees are hip width, arms or hands are shoulder width. And we'll do a couple rounds of cat-cow here. So just a little different movement through your spine now. Inhale, lower your belly, lift your heart, lift your tailbone. And exhale, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, begin to round your spine. 2 more like that, really slow. Inhale, lower your belly, lift your heart, lift your chin. Exhale, that chin tucks right in, tailbone under, spine round, shoulders puff. 1 more time, inhale. And exhale. And come back to neutral. Bring your hips down to one side. We're moving into a seated forward fold. Okay, so we're going to allow this to be, I'll sit sideways, I guess, with your legs long. Now, first I like to find the sit bones here, so just moving any sort of fleshy bits out of the way. If you're someone who's a little tighter through the hips, or it's hard to kind of sit with your bottom parallel, this is where using a pillow can come in handy. If you have a bed pillow, you can fold it in half. If you have a block, great. If you have a cushion from your couch, fabulous. We just want to bring maybe the sit bones to connect to that sort of front edge, just to give it a little bit of height. This allows your spine to stay a little bit long to begin with, and just brings a little bit of relief into those hips. The legs can stay together, or you can separate them slightly. If you do have a block or a couple of books you want to bring onto your thighs to maybe support your forehead as we go, feel free to do that as well. So we'll begin by bringing your hands beside you. Inhale, lift your heart, lengthen your spine. And exhale, tuck your chin and begin to round first through the upper spine. So notice my mid and low back is still long. I'm tucking my chin, I'm rounding through the shoulders. And then I begin to walk my hands forward towards my shins as my mid and lower back rounds. So now the legs are relaxed. There can be a little softness behind the knees. The toes can flop open. Arms can rest onto your thighs if you like, or beside you. And we're just going to stay in this forward folded space. If it becomes more of an effort through your neck, then feel free to place some books onto your lap, supporting your forehead, or blocks if you have them, bolsters, pillows. Again, eyes can be open or closed. Keeping the chin sort of tucked in, lengthening through the cervical spine, your neck. The longer you stay here, try to let gravity take over. Don't fight that gravitational pull towards the earth. So let the top of your head be really heavy. Let your cheeks, your jaw, your shoulders relax. You may notice the length through your spine moving right down into that lower lumbar spine, the low back. If it's a lot through the backs of your legs here, you can feel free to butterfly the feet, bring the soles of your feet together, or place some pillows under your knees. Remember those long inhales and exhales through your nose. A couple more breaths here. Begin to walk your hands. Keep your chin tucked, your head heavy, your spine rounded. Hands come back beside your hips or upper thighs. Keep your chin connected to your chest, and we're coming out the exact opposite of the way we went in. So rolling up through that low back, one vertebrae at a time, into the mid-spine, chin still tucked, to the upper back. Then finally the chin begins to lift. Neck is long. Maybe roll your shoulders up towards your ears and back down. Slide yourself off of your pillow or your blocks. Bring the soles of your feet to your mat. Bend your knees. Hands come behind you. Fingertips can point forward just to give a little stability here. Lean back into your hands, and then we'll just windshield washer the legs side to side. Perfect. Okay, come back to center. You can cross your ankles. Come back into hands and knees. So from here we're moving, you know what, let's do a cat-cow. So one more round of cat-cow. Breathe in, lower the belly, lift the heart, lift the tailbone. Breathe out, tuck your chin around your spine. Come back to neutral. Coming into some melting heart, or what we would know in our hatha practice as puppy dog pose. So keeping your knees in line with the hips here. We want to keep this sort of like right angle into the knees and these long sort of legs into the upper legs into the hips. Then from here, it might be easier to see if I tuck my shirt in. We're just going to walk your hands forward until your forearms come to the floor. So elbows underneath your shoulders to start. Notice the hips and the knees are in one line here. Begin to walk your hands forward towards the top of your mat, to the front of your room. Still keeping the knees and the hips in line. Allow your forehead to touch down to the floor. So if this pose is called melting heart, we want to think about opening through the heart center. So the arms are extended, the shoulders down and back, letting the heart start to move towards the floor, towards the earth. Still keeping the shoulders, the hips and knees rather, into one line. And if you're someone that's fairly flexible through the cervical spine, just begin to bring your chin forward here. You will know right away if this is for you or not. If that does not feel good, bring the forehead back to the floor. Some modifications you can make. If it's a lot to bring your forehead to the ground, bring a block or a couple of pillows underneath the forehead, letting the head be elevated off the ground. You can also, for a little more depth in this space, so the opposite of needing that modification would be to place a couple of blocks or books out in front of your hands and lifting your hands up, your arms up higher than your head, letting your heart melt down even more. And once you've settled into your space, find your breath. And sometimes people ask me, what does that mean? Find my breath. When you find something, you notice it, you see it, you are aware of it. It can be a feeling, it can be a physical object. In this case, with the breath, I believe it is both. It's that physical feeling of air movement in and out of your body, filling, expanding, softening, exiting, releasing. There's also a feeling that comes with your breath in terms of maybe energy, filling up, feeling larger than life, into this space of calm, peace, softness, reflection. Come back to your breath. Let your arms and shoulders relax as much as you can. Let your jaw relax. Send your breath into your heart center, to your shoulders, to your spine. Feel all of those pieces, those spaces within you working together. We're here for just a couple more breaths. To exit, we're moving really slowly. If your chin is still outstretched, bring your forehead back to the floor. From here, bring the weight into your heels of your hands. Then begin to slide your hands back towards your forehead. Root down through the forearms. Breathe as you move. Press through the palms of your hands, through the forearms of your arms. Begin to lift your forehead up. Draw your hands back closer, so now they're under your shoulders. Begin to lengthen your arms. Come back to that tabletop space. If you'd like to tuck the chin and then untuck, lengthen your neck. Maybe turn your chin to the left and back over to the right. Just some movement through the neck, back to center. Here, this time, rather than cat-cow, we're just going to move your hips side to side. So bring your hips over to the right. So we're just bringing this rotation from the waist down through the hips. Arms are still centered, knees are centered. The movement is happening through that mid and lower spine. Then over to the left. Back to center to the right. One more time each side. Try to find a little engagement through the belly. Slide your knees now up behind your wrists. So we're coming into sleeping hero. Bring the knees about mat width or a little wider than shoulder width if you don't have a mat with you, if you're just using the carpet beneath you. So a little wider than shoulder width. They're your kneecaps. Your toes will touch behind you. Your bottom comes down to your heels. If this is not accessible for you, a pillow underneath your bottom, between your bottom and your heels, like so, or a block. Remember as well that we are holding this space for about 3 minutes, so you want to be supported. You don't have to come all the way back to the floor. You can use, again, pillows, blocks, bolsters, whatever works to support your body. Be kind to your body and however you're feeling today. So with the knees about mat width or just a little wider than shoulder width, the hands come down beside you. Fingertips point forward. Then the first thing that you do is press down through the shins as you lift your hips high. With the hips nice and high, begin then to lower, bending your elbows, lower your bottom back between your heels. So this little space you've created between your heels. Maybe there's a little wiggle happening there, just finding that bowl. Then continue to kind of make that connection through the shins. Stay more upright if you'd like. Make your way down onto the elbows, the forearms. Again, staying here if you want, maybe using some props underneath your body, or continuing all the way down to the floor. If you're all the way down and back, again, remember, honor your body, honor the space that you are in today. Use maybe a pillow under the head if you need, or the backs of the shoulders. Keep the shins, the knees connected the whole time. When the knees lift off the ground, that places a lot of effort onto your knee joints. So find that connection, that grounding through the lower leg. Arms can stay beside you, maybe hands onto the body. Perhaps the arms stretch overhead or out to the side. Again, whatever space allows you to find that connection and stay. If none of that is accessible for you, you are welcome to come onto your side. Maybe prop the hand up or lay the head down, or prop the head up rather with your hand. Lay your head down. In this space, we want to keep your hips in one line. So we're not tilting forward and we're not tilting back. We want your hips to point straight forward as though you have two flashlights that are pointing a light. From here, you just bend the right knee or the top knee and hold on to the foot or the ankle, the shin, and draw the heel back towards your bottom. Again, we're not looking to lean back or open up, and we're not leaning forward. We're just drawing that heel as close as we can, feeling that lengthening through the front side. Come back to your breath. For those of you taking that side lying space, I will let you know when it's time to switch sides. And for those of you all the way back into the Sleeping Hero, check in. Where are you still holding on? Is there any space within your physical body or perhaps your mental body that is resisting here? Don't judge. Don't think that you can't have resistance. Noticing resistance is part of the path to the freedom from it, even if we are unable to let go in this moment. So just come back to your breath. Being with your breath is that space that you can kind of control in some ways. We may not be able to control environmental or emotional spaces always. Our physical bodies will always let us know what's going on. But your breath is something that you can guide and have help guide you. For those in the side lying position, release that foot, come onto your belly and over to the other side. Bring your hips into one line. Support your neck, your head, however feels most comfortable. Then bend the top knee, draw your heel back towards your bottom. In Sleeping Hero, if you need to adjust your arms, do so. If you need to bring your awareness back to your shins, to your knees, to allow for that grounding, do so. Then come back to stillness. Find your breath. Let your bottom relax. Your shoulders relax. Your forehead, your cheeks relax. Just a few more breaths here. For those in the side lying position, just stay as you are. Sleeping Hero, start to bring some weight into your elbows and forearm, then into the heels of your hands. So I'm just allowing your upper arms, your lower arms rather, to kind of take that weight now. Shift the weight into the heels of your hands. Lead with your heart. Slower than you would like. Start to press up into that seated position. If you're in the side lying space, let go of the foot. Gently roll onto your belly. Sleeping Hero should now be seated. Bring your hands down in front of you. Draw your knees more to hip width. Come back to that tabletop space. So wrists, and if you're on your belly from that side lying place, lift yourself up into tabletop as well. We're just going to do a little extension, a little lengthening through the legs. So extend your left leg behind you. So extend the left leg back. Toes or foot will flex, toes tucked down to the floor. Press your heels to the back of the room. Feel that leg strength, lengthen rather. Left knee bends, extend the right leg, same thing. Try and keep your hips level here if you can. Right knee comes down, left leg extends. And one more time on the other side, right leg extends. All right, from here we're moving into pigeon. So in yin, we typically, or I like to transition right from hands and knees. If you'd like to lift up into a downward facing dog, feel free. Otherwise, on the right side, draw your right knee up behind the right wrist. Allow your right ankle to come out from underneath you. Enough to bring the heel out from underneath your pelvis. If you can bring your foot parallel, great, not a requirement. Then let the left knee slide back. So you're sliding that left leg back enough to allow the hips to open here. You can take a look back to make sure the leg is sort of traveled straight back. And then draw that left hip forward enough so you're more square to sort of the front of your mat or to the front of wherever you are facing in your home. Hands can come beside you, just finding some length now through the spine, letting the hips connect down a little deeper here. And then finally, breathe in, lift your heart high. And breathe out, walk your hands forward. So as the hands walk forward, you're keeping that length into your spine. Eventually, perhaps the forehead comes down to the floor. If that's not an option for you, no worries. Come to your elbows. Stack your hands. Rest your forehead onto your hands. Stack blocks, stack books. If you have that pillow handy, allow the pillow to support your head while your arms are beside you. And then find your breath. And trust here. Trust that even though you're not in the hot room and your body may not feel as open, trust that you may not have been as active as you'd like to, or maybe you've been more active than you normally are. Trust that if you're tired or energetic or whatever space that you're in, that when you land here in this big hip opener, this big body opener, that when you find that space of resistance, just pause. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be. And then find your breath. Feel your breath move. Can you come back to that same breath you had in Shavasana? That breath that expands you, fills you, and then softens and relaxes you. Let your jaw relax. Feel the muscles on the insides of your cheeks soften. Take a sigh as you breathe out if you need. Just a couple more breaths on this side. If your forehead is to the ground, just bring your hands beside your shoulders. Then inhale, big inhale, slow inhale, lengthen your arms. Exhale and pause. Tuck your left toes underneath so that you can draw that left knee back. Right ankle comes out from underneath you, right knee slides back. Bring your hands under your shoulders, your knees in line with your hips. One cat-cow. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your tailbone. Exhale, chin tucks in, spine rounds. Back to neutral. Left knee draws up behind left wrist. Left ankle, if you're using down dog, feel free to go there. Left ankle comes out from underneath you. Right knee slides behind you, lengthen back. Leg lengthens straight back. You can have a look if you like. And hands come beside you, sitting up nice and tall. Just let the hips gently open here. If you need to spend an extra couple of breaths, especially on the left side, a lot of the times the left side is a little tighter than the right if right is dominant for you. Just allow yourself to let the hips open, make that connection. When you are ready, breathe in, lift your heart. Breathe out, walk your hands forward. Whatever this side looks like for you, maybe the forehead comes down, maybe it doesn't on this side, using pillows, blocks, books, props, whatever you need. And then again, if the hip is floating off the ground, feel free to bring a book, a block, or if it's just a little off the ground, sometimes it's nice to slide an eye pillow or rolled up towel underneath there. Just again, giving your body as much support as you can to allow it to feel that support so that it can find that opening. And then find your breath. Let your jaw relax, your belly relax. Notice those spaces that hold on. Typically, the spaces that hold on in these yin or restorative poses are the same spaces that hold on in our daily life. Your practice, your yoga is an opportunity to find awareness, to connect to those spaces, and allowing or learning how to use your breath and this space of, or this place of calm, of connection to yourself, to let those little bits of resistance soften. You may not be able to completely let the resistance go, and that's okay. But if we can learn to let those spaces soften a little more each time, eventually, perhaps the resistance will fade. Come back to your breath. Just a few more breaths on this side. Again, drawing your hands now slowly back by your shoulders. This space is a little different than your normal yoga practice because you're holding here longer. So moving with intention and slow, long breath. Breathe in, lengthen your arms, sit up nice and tall, breathe out and pause. Tuck your right toes under, bend your right knee, draw that knee back in. Left ankle out from underneath you, knees slide back into one line, back into that tabletop space, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, one cat-cow, inhale. And exhale. Neutral spine, hips come to one side, moving onto your back for a supine spinal twist here. Hands can come behind your thighs. You can't see me. Hands come behind your thighs, knees are bent. Just let your spine roll down one vertebrae at a time. The heels come in a little closer to your bottom. Arms come out to the side, capital letter T. Pick your hips up, move them slightly to the right. Knees fall over to the left. Backs of your shoulders stay grounded, stay connected. Your left hand can come to the right thigh if you like. You can cross the legs. You can extend the right leg so the knee lengthens, finding more stretch through the IT band. And finally, your head has the option of turning towards the right side, so away from the direction of your knees. Eyes open or closed. Let your belly and your bottom relax. Let your shoulders draw down. They're kind of tucked up by your earlobes. Let them soften. Bring your eyes back to the ceiling. And draw your knees back to center, your hips to center. Pause for a breath. Hips move to the left just slightly, about an inch or so. Knees over to the right. Again, adjusting your twist if you like, crossing the legs or extending the left leg, maybe right hand to left thigh. Backs of shoulders, both sides, stay connected. And finally, the option to shift your gaze to the left side, opposite direction of your knees. Bring your eyes back to center. The knees rise, the hips to center. Have a full breath here, then draw your knees in towards your belly. Give yourself a squeeze. Place the soles of your feet back to your mat. Extend your arms, extend your legs. Shavasana. Feel free to place an eye pillow on your eyes, a sock, a towel, whatever. Let your body relax. Find your breath. And before you drift off into that space of relaxation, if you haven't already taken advantage of the Modo Yoga free 30-day online experience, your code is either AUR for Aurora or NMKT for Newmarket. Just go to the Modo Yoga International website, modoyoga.com, sign up, join in on some more yoga for another month. It was such an honor to be here with you, to share your breath, even though we're not in the same space. I felt your presence, your energy. I hope you felt mine. So looking forward to the time when we can share the same space together. Until then, just return to your breath. Take a moment to pause, feel your body, feel that connection. Allow yourself the gift of each present moment.